Hey, welcome back to the channel. So here we have SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. I never thought I'm gonna make a video out of this because I thought this game is a PvE game, like a single player game, but they just recently released a PvP stage. So because it changes the way this game works, like if it is a single player game, then even though it's a gacha game, like you are free to just spend any amount of your money, or you just play without spending a single cent into this game, and everybody can still enjoy the game. But because there is a PvP, I just want to show you guys that I'm a pure free-to-play player. I spend nothing into this game, and I still managed to get to Master League with 129,000 points here. So it is possible for you guys to just reach this much. Like if you want to see my formation, like a sneak peek, I'm even using 2 SSR units and still at 1-star limit break in here for the Psycho Gundam. So yeah, it's possible. You don't need to get a good unit in here. You just have to be smart in choosing which Gundam you want to use. So for those of you who doesn't know about this game yet, there are 3 types of Gundams: a support, a DPS, and a tank. And as usual, the support helps you debuff your enemies, and then DPS is your main DPS source, and then the tank is a tank. It takes damage for your friend. So the way this game works is a real-time strategy game. You move your units like a chess on the board, and if your units get attacked and they are close to your tank, then the tank gonna take the damage for that unit, and then your support units mostly are the ones who have an attack that can debuff their enemies. Like this one, it inflicts defense down, and this one increase damage taken from special weapons, etc. So there are a lot of benefits, by debuffing your enemies. As usual, as always, I really love debuffing my enemies. Like debuff is always a go-to skills in every single RPG games. You should always prioritize your debuffer rather than your DPS or your tank, because your DPS and your tank gonna change depending on the situation. But a debuffer will always gonna be useful in every single situation, as long as you have a complete set of debuff that you can choose from. Like for example, I really love my DO here. I get really lucky with the current banner right now and got him. Like he is one of the best beam damage taken debuffer here. So I have damage taken from beam weapons up by 30% in here, in this guy. And then I'm using new Gundam. He is the damage taken from special weapons debuffer. And then I either sometimes use Lesigna and Gundam Aerial here, because they can debuff the enemy and reduce their defense. So if those 3 things stacks, and also I have a Phoenix Gundam here, luckily for an extra debuff. This one can increase the damage taken from physical weapons for your enemy. So I use those 4 support Gundam to choose what will I give a debuff to my enemies. And depending on my attacker, I have Sasabi, I have Striker Custom. Sasabi mainly deal with beam damage, and Striker mainly deal with physical damage. So if I use Striker, I choose Phoenix. If I use Sasabi, I choose DO. And Exia, I rarely ever use this one because I already have Striker. This is also a melee unit, but because I already have Striker, then I prefer Striker. Also, he is already at 1 star. So stars here is duplicates. If you have played other gacha games, you know that duplicates increase the strength of that unit. So if you get lucky and get duplicates of really strong units, then definitely use them. Like you can see here, my Aerial is really strong because of the duplicates, Lesigna also. But Lesigna is less of a PvP Gundam because it doesn't have any defensive abilities, compared to the aerial, and it's really really important in PvP that you need to survive. Look at this: when the enemy attacks with beam weapons, reduce damage taken by 30%, and this is huge. You know, damage mitigation, debuff, damage mitigation, support, utility are a very strong thing to have in an RPG game. You know, so that one is really good, and you can see in my unit assembly here, I've only been pulling 70 times so far in the this banner, the current Zeta Gundam banner. So again, I'm a pure free-to-play players, so I don't get a lot of chance into pulling into the gacha here. So I'm really lucky that I managed to get the O. I didn't get anything in the Strike Freedom banner, the previous banner. So I don't have Strike Freedom, I don't have Freedom, I don't have Justice, you know. And the points that I got from pulling into the Strike Freedom went to here. And also I didn't feel like the Strike Freedom is such a good unit, like he is really really overrated. You can see from my PvP score just now, you know, I managed to get this far without any freedom unit. And all of my enemies are strike freedom, you know, freedom, strike freedom, freedom, strike freedom. Like, what the hell, they are everywhere, but I can just counter them, you know. So in every single game in a PvP situation, always aim to counter the meta. You know, if there are a meta units, you know, if you want to be smart as a free-to-play players, because you will never be able to follow on the meta. You know, like right now the meta is Strike Freedom and also Zeta Gundam. When a new banner comes out, the meta gonna change. The meta will always gonna change because the game will always gonna release a stronger and stronger and stronger units, you know. So instead of following the meta, try to find a unit that you think gonna be very useful in certain situations. So the moment that you know, new meta comes out, you know how to counter them. And if you can counter them, you can already win half of your fight because it is a meta unit. You know, everybody gonna use them. If you know how to counter them, then you already win half of your fight. You know, so I've already pulled 70 so far in here, and then this is the standard banner. I already pulled like only 174 times in here. So the next, if I manage to get to 200 points here, I either gonna pull Sasabi, you know, my main DPS, to limit break him. Again, giving duplicates is so much better rather than just collecting every single Gundam in here, you know. Like, if I definitely gonna use him more, then why not just upgrade him, you know? And I'm the only thing that I'm interested in pulling among all of these lists is the Barbatus, because again, a mitigation is a really strong thing to have, especially for a tank. So Barbatus, in my opinion, is the strongest tank because of this. When the enemy attacks with beam weapons, reduce damage taken by 30%. And almost like more than half of your enemies in this game, more than half of the Gundams in this game use beam weapons. So he is a really, really strong tank, you know. So yeah. Definitely probably gonna take one Barbatus. If by the time I reach 200 points here and I still haven't got Barbatus yet, I'll definitely gonna pull him. And the only thing I'm gonna focus on is just keep upgrading my Sasabi, you know. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna use a ticket in here, I think. Let's go. I can put UR unit guaranteed you the assembly ticket. Ooh, should I just pull this? Let's just go. Let's assemble. We're gonna see what do I get in here. Okay, so this is a UR. Hopefully this is gonna be Barbatus. You know, let's skip this and let's go Barbatus. Yes. See, this is my luck, you know, guys. So I'm really really lucky in this game. As a free-to-play player, I spent nothing into this game and I still got all the units that I want, you know. So again, you know, this game is very very viable for a free-to-play players. You know, you don't need to spend a single cent, and you can still play this game. Not because I'm hoping you got my luck, but I can make use of all of these SSR units. So I'm gonna tell you all the good SSR units that I have. This one, definitely Gundam GQ, because as a free-to-play players, he is the only unit with the pilot char as naval GQ that have to support defense. If you don't have Barbatos yet, or the what is the other one? I forgot the other one that have two support defense. But if you don't have a UR pilot that have to support defense, then this is your best friend. I've been using him in my PvP so far. Now, the second best tank is the Psycho Gundam. Actually, not the second best. The only reason why Gundam GQ is the best for a free-to-play players is because of the two defense support defense. But if it's only the unit, Psycho Gundam, in my opinion, is the best tank because of this damage mitigation. Look at this: beam range weapon damage taken reduced by 40%, and like I said, half of the Gundams in this game are all using beam damage. Too bad it doesn't block melee beam damage, but it is already strong enough, like he is comparable to a UR tank. And also his skill here have a map attack that reduces attack down 20%, and also a 4 range attack that reduces the enemy's attack by 30%. So he is a really strong tank to have. I'm using him in my PvP, and then I use Gundam Astra Gold Frame and Big Sam for the map attack to clear up my PvE stages. And then Zeta Gundam for a debuff from very far because he has a very long range. Wool Armor Double Z for another DPS that I have in the SSR category. And again, if you see my weapon upgrade, like I haven't upgraded a lot. Like look at this, I only upgrade the EX skill for mostly all of my Gundam, except for the Sasabi. I max out everything, So and also aerial, I almost maxed out aerial. So you can already see, as a free-to-play players, I have limited materials. So I need to be smart in spending my materials. I don't spend into everything. I only spend into the ones that I'm actually using. So again, like don't spend everything on just every single Gundam. So you just gotta have to choose. And the Strike Rogue is good for debuff. Perfect Strike also good for debuff. Wing Gundam also good for debuff. And Hyperion, a lot of players say that Hyperion is good because there are a ton of Strike Freedom user in PvP out there. So because he counters the Gundam Seed, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, he counters all Gundam from that. From that category, like he is a really good choice if you do want to counter the Strike Freedom and Freedom, Gundam in PvP. But then again, I managed to counter them using just Gundam GQ and Psycho Gundam, so I don't need to upgrade him at all. So yeah, I don't feel the need to upgrade him yet. Now, another unit that I have my eyes on is the Geminas. Gundam Geminas 1 and 2, they are a really, really good Gundam because there are not many Gundams that have a power of 5,000 into their attack, So if you upgrade him, this one to the max, then it's gonna deal a really high damage, And also he has a really good abilities, defense and evasion in here. So definitely a really good tank. And also the Geminas 01, where is it? This one. The Geminas 01, another unit that have power of 5,000 attack into their skill set. So it has the same theory as the currently popular SR Freedom Gundam that is upgraded to the max. Like I've seen a lot of players getting crazy over seeing a lot of players are actually using SR Freedom Gundam and upgrade him to the max, like level 100 and fully limit break and max his skill level, because he also have a power of 5,000 into its attack, So if you actually upgrade the Gundam Geminas, it can have the same effect as this Freedom Gundam, So those are the Gundams that I have my eyes on. And also Haro here is also an optional tank that you can have. And also Saikoro Gundam is also an optional tank that you can have that is really, really strong because of the eye field, This one. the eye field, it reduces damage taken by 40%. So it's a really strong thing to have as a tank, damage mitigation. Psycho Gundam 3 too bad is not a good tank to choose because he actually lost his eye field compared to the Psycho Gundam 1. So yeah, but I haven't got to increase Haro and Psycho Gundam because they are a huge Gundam, you know. They are a huge Gundam. They take out 2x2 size in the battlefield, and it's sometimes it's blocking the way of my other Gundams. So yeah, those are the Gundams that I have set my eyes on. Oh yeah, and also the Blue Destiny. Where's the Blue Destiny? Where's the Blue Destiny? This one, yes, the Blue Destiny. I'm also having my eyes on this one because he has all of his ability that increase attack. Like, what the hell? It's all attack here. Okay, and the power is 5,000, but too bad it's a melee attack. So yeah, but still, if you upgrade this one, it's gonna deal really high damage. But then again, you use Gundams depending on the situation. So yeah, all the Gundams that I mentioned are the ones that you definitely can use, can upgrade. And as a free-to-play players, you need to choose to upgrade your Gundam wisely, because you have limited amount of materials. And for supporters, you don't need to upgrade them, even at maximum level, like it only increase your HP by 2000 and your attack by around 200. So it doesn't make any that much difference whether you bring a level 1 supporter into your battle. Like I'm using Bicha Oleg here for my PvP supporter. I only aim for the HP restoration and also the leader skills. No matter what level they are, both of these are not affected, So you can just bring a level 1 supporter there, no problem. Yeah, so those are the units that I can tell you that have a really good benefit if you level them up as a free-to-play players. So last but not least, again, this game is very viable for a free-to-play players. This is totally not a pay-to-win games. So hope a lot of you can enjoy these games. And if you are curious about my PvP here, the Master League, I'm gonna release the next video talking more about the Master League here. So I'm gonna see you in the next video. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.